What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Kristen, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be, an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Allow Yourself Grace. And I have another guest, y'all. I'm killing y'all with guests. I love it. All the episodes have been great. I'm going to let this guest introduce herself only because I'm not sure how to say her first name because I only call her by her last name. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hey, hi everybody. My name is Waverli Pritchett. I am from Georgia. Recently moved to Houston, Texas back in July of last year, and I have been working at an elementary school near here, and I'm just excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to have you. I'm always excited when people, I don't have to ask them. They're like, oh, can I come on? I love those type of guests, y'all.
Sign me up. I'm
right? Because if you're a podcaster or you kind of are in any area where you have to like ask people, it's like you normally ask them more than once. And so she volunteered and I love it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Let us speak my truth.
All right, so give us a little background. You moved to Houston from Georgia.
Yes.
What made you like want to take that leap and just move?
Well, I've always had the dream since high school just came to me. It was like, go to Houston. I'm like,
oh, wow.
Why? And so I've always told my family, told friends, like, I'm moving to Houston. I'm moving to Houston. And they're like, why? I'm just like, something spoke to me. God spoke to me and said, you're going to Houston. I'm like, maybe my purpose is there. And so I put it off for so long. Went to college. I did my bachelor's at West Georgia. I got my master's at West Georgia. And then last year, I just began to feel cramped in the house that I was living in. I lived with two other teachers and we all got along and I have no bad blood with them, but it's just like everything was enclosing in on me. And I said, I need to reach out. I need to branch out. I need to take that step of faith and just go follow my dream. And so all I did was one day I was fed up at work and I was like, let me look up some jobs in Houston. And so I just started applying. And then I finally got a call back and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. It was for confirmed. A school. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was a school in San Antonio. And I was like, it's Texas, but it's not Houston, Texas. Right. And so I prayed on it. And I told my mom, she's just like, wait on it. And so whenever I denied that job, I got an email from the school that I'm at now that Monday. Tuesday interview, by Wednesday I had confirmed it. I was like, this is everything just worked out perfectly. God. So I was like, yeah, look at God. Like he really
and the timing.
Out. The timing. Yes. Absolutely. Because I was finishing up my master's. The lease was ending with my roommates and it was time to go for my other school. Like my first year babies were going to middle school and I wanted to see that happen, transition. So everything just worked out so perfect.
That is so awesome. Talk about alignment.
Oh my gosh, literally.
Yes, when it's time.
Yes.
God always gives you that confirmation, whether it's through people, whether it's through like just certain little signs where you're like, okay, God, I know what you told me, so now I know it's time to move.
And literally everything lined up perfectly.
And he starts to put that pressure on you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That pressure. If you know anything about it, it's like, okay, I hear you, God.
Yes, I hear you loud and clear. I was like, oh, this is time. It's time.
Yes. So how are you doing? Because I always like to check in, like mentally, physically. Do you feel like you're in a great place? You're in a great space? mentally?
Mentally, it's taken me a long time to get to where I really want to be. I feel like I'm a lot happier now than I was a year ago. If you were to ask me a year ago, am I okay? I've been like, no, I'm not. But I'm a lot happier, even though I'm away from my family and my friends and all that stuff. I feel a lot more in tune with myself. And so coming to Houston and being here by myself and coming home to myself every day, there's nobody there. It's just like, okay, like I can get used to this.
Yeah.
So I get to know myself a lot more and channel my inner thoughts. And so I feel a lot good, like better mentally, for sure. Emotionally, I'm good as well.
That's good.
I was depressed. I had a gray area for a very long time, but like coming to Houston and just knowing I have that support in Georgia, I've seen like colors now. That's why I explain it. So I'm really good.
I love
Just
that.
to sum it up, I'm
I
good.
love that.
I'm a lot better.
Yeah, and just sometimes being in a new space around some new people, you know, unfamiliar.
Right.
I can never say that word. You know what I mean?
Yes,
being in an unfamiliar place is kind of like just different, and I think that's one thing I love about traveling is that you kind of get that chance to like regroup, revamp, and like start over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just start from scratch.
Literally start from scratch.
Yes, I love that. I love that, and I love that for you. I love to see younger people. Because how old are you? How old are you?
27.
27. Yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna be, believe it or not, guys, I'm gonna be 35 in May.
Period.
And so yes,
crack.
I love to see my Black women in their 20s like really living out their dreams and just really taking chances. And I always encourage them to do that because, you know, we grew up in a time where people didn't encourage that, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of like grow up, go to school, get a good job, and kind of like stay around your hometown.
Right.
And so then I think we end up missing out on a lot, right?
That fear of missing out.
Yes.
And I get that sometimes, you know, I'm like, but am I really missing out though? You know, I don't want to be fearful of what's the next step.
Yes.
So, and I see a bunch of my friends still in their hometowns and they don't want to travel too far because they're scared. I'm like, if you don't let go and just go on, just try it.
You might like it.
And if you don't, you can always come back.
Right.
That's the thing. You can always come back. So that's the thing too.
And sometimes you like it more than what you thought you were. Like,
exactly.
You're like, oh, but then when you get there, like you kind of said, I got this.
Right. I got it.
I got this.
I feel confident. I mean,
yes. And so I guess we say that just to say, guys, like, don't be afraid to try something new because you never know.
Exactly. Because I'm 800 miles away from home, no family, and I'm just out here thriving, making new friends every day.
Yep.
So you won't know till you try.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. Give us a little background on yourself. Like, what are some things you like to do?
Oh, gosh. What I like to do? I like to nap. I'm just kidding.
Naps are always good. Always. Self-care. Okay.
I love to shop. I have to put myself on a strict budget because I'm a very impulsive shopper. So I see something, I'm like, oh, I need it. I like it.
In the cart.
I like it. I'm getting it. It's in the cart. And I start thinking about it even more. I'm like, oh, I have to have it in my hands. And I get it. I'm just like, you know.
Right.
And then there's cycle repeats over and over and over again. So I love to shop. I like to cook. I've been testing new recipes and stuff like that. I love self-care.
Hey, husbands, y'all listening? We're looking for a husband too. No,
no, for real.
No, for real. She's single. Okay.
Single. Okay. I do. What else I like to do? Do a lot of things. I like to just travel. I like to get out there. I like to see different things, meet different people. I like self-care. Self-care is very huge in my book. I like to do the lashes. I like to do the hair. I like to do all that. Just something that takes care of me. So I make sure that I come first and I make sure that everything's aligned the way I need it to be. Because if I don't look good, I don't feel good, you know? So I have to make sure that I take care of me first always. So
yes. A whole word. Y'all should be writing that down. Make sure you take care of you. Whatever it is that you like to do for you, like make it happen.
Right.
So one of the things that I've been doing, I'm so glad you said that because like I felt really like it was just like a gray cloud over me at the beginning, I guess at the beginning of the school year, like August, like that time, because it was just, I was just in a dark place of like not really knowing what I wanted to do, not really happy, you know, like
Right.
just with me, not anything to do with anybody else, but it was like stuff I knew I needed to do for me. So I
Right.
signed up for therapy.
Okay.
That was one of the things I did, and it really, really helped me really put things into perspective and see things a different way, because I just felt like, okay, it's like it's almost like a heavy weight. I don't know if anybody's ever felt it. It's kind of hard to describe, but you're in a place of uncertainty, right? And so doing that really helped me, and then getting back to my workouts.
There we go.
Yeah, taking care of me, because not putting everything else first. Like, no, I need to make this a priority. So definitely do that.
I applaud you for going to therapy, because so many Black women and men were like, oh, I can handle this, or I can take it to church. And, you know, God, I'm not, you know, doubting anything, but praying does work. But like talking to somebody out, you know, and having a response back definitely works too. So I applaud you for going to therapy. That's something that's on my bucket list to just go.
Should try it.
Talk it out with somebody, and, you know, just
it's rough at first. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I talked to a friend and I was like, girl, I'm about to quit, because this lady, no.
Because I have so many questions.
Yeah,
you have so many questions and you need answers, you know, and just talk it out.
And they give you that wait time. So that wait time that we give students, they give it to you, okay? And it's like, girl, come on, move on to the next question.
And we need it as adults.
Move on to the next question.
But we need that as adults.
Do. Accountability. Like, no, you need to answer this. Like, you've been avoiding it. Or those times when you're looking for validation, but you've already answered your own question. Right. And they're like, you kind of already already know the answer to that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I love that.
Try it. Try it. And you get... So look, I've had several therapists on here the past couple weeks, and so I'll have to give you some referrals to them, because they're Black therapists, and they're in Houston. And you also get your sessions for being a teacher. You get 8 sessions.
I thought so, but I didn't know it was like through the county or through you, or
it's through. Yeah, I'll send you the info so you can check it out.
Because I remember seeing it at the beginning of the year, and I'm like, I'm gonna save it, but I'm gotta get more questions about it. So no, thank you for that.
Yeah, and they both accepted. So I'll shout out to my girls, because they came on and they dropped some gems. Their episodes are on YouTube, guys. Go check them out. Yes, Black Girl Magic.
Magic, taking over.
They definitely motivated me. My next question. So I guess my next question, we're gonna move into the topic. So our topic today is just putting things into perspective, like how to shift your perspective and change your life, like the way you look at things. And we kind of already like touched on some of it, but just sometimes just changing the way you think about things, or the things we say. Like, for example, like, oh, I don't really feel like doing that. I don't really feel like working out today. But saying like, I get to work out today, because there's somebody who wish that they could go work out, and they can't. Maybe they're confined to a bed, or maybe, you know, they have medical issues going on. And so just being grateful for where we are. So that's kind of what I want to touch on. So what advice do you have to give as far as perspective goes? Do you have like a scenario of where you had to put things in perspective, or is there something that you can think of? You know,
I can think back to a time when I was a kid, and we were coming off a church trip, and we had been walking all day, and we were in the van going in downtown Atlanta. And we're just like, our feet hurt so bad. And we look out the window, and there's a guy with no legs.
Oh my God.
And so it just really put it into perspective. Like, yes, my feet hurt, but at least I have feet to walk on. So I'm just grateful for what I have. So from that moment on, I try to think of it in a positive aspect. Like, okay, yes, I'm feeling, you know, this day, but you know what? Tomorrow is a better day.
Right.
You know, or, you know, just shifting my mindset to make sure that I'm good first, and try to, because I'm a very positive person. I tell everybody that when they meet me, I'm like, I don't do the negativity. I don't do the arguing. Trying to make the negative situation positive. So what good can you get out of this situation to make it better for you? So that's how I kind of see things now.
I love that. Not doing the negativity, because sometimes we get around people who agree with us, right? So we're being negative, and they add to the negativity, and then it's like a pity party.
Both feel bad at the end,
and everybody feels bad.
Yes. Like, I gained nothing from this.
Nothing
at
like,
all.
Can we move on?
Can we move on?
And I had to stop myself because
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm like literally feeding into this. Like every
Yes.
day we're having a conversation about something negative. Like, like I
Right.
have to stop it. Like
Right.
I need to change. Like, oh yeah, what's up? Let's talk about something else. Like,
Mhm.
because sometimes just focusing on good can help you just get through those tough
Yes.
moments in those other areas.
Mhm.
And also remembering, somebody told me something a month ago. They're like, it's only temporary.
It's only temporary.
Everything is only
Uh-huh.
temporary.
It reminds me of that Glorilla song, "Every day the sun might shine, every day the sun won't shine, but that's why I love tomorrows." Like,
Yes.
yes,
It
like
gets greater
it gets
later.
greater
It gets
later.
greater later.
Yes.
When they used to say that at church, I used to be like, what are they
What?
talking
And
about?
then
But
you go through it yourself and you're just like, okay,
yes.
that's what they were talking about. I get it.
Yes. And
For
it just
sure.
helps you really gain insight
Mhm.
on how to look at things from a different angle. Like
Right.
not always looking at it, focusing, because we operate out of our feelings.
Right. We do.
Like if I feel sad, I'm taking it out on everybody. You're
Yeah.
gonna see it on my
Oh my
face.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. If
Mhm.
I'm just down and angry that day, I have to separate myself from like my students and my friends, and I just leave my phone alone. I try to like go in my own personal space. I'm like, y'all,
Yep.
I'm not feeling my best right now. I'm not happy right now. I need you to just give me 10 minutes to myself.
Right.
And I just need to take a step back because if when I get mean, I get mean. I don't want to say anything to hurt anybody's feelings. So that's yeah,
You get
for sure. I get
sarcastic. You get
sarcastic.
snappy.
Oh my.
That was me today. So they've been asking me to help out with testing, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm in that room all day. So then I get people stopping me. Stop. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, okay, I need about give me 1 hour. Just give
Yes.
me 1 hour to go do some
Yes.
paperwork and just get my mind right.
Right.
And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna
I
be
just tell my
ready.
students, I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I just
Yeah.
need 5 minutes to myself. And they
They
understand now. Cause
know.
yeah, they
They
know.
know.
They start to
Yeah.
pick up on it like, oh, Miss Pritchett is really irritated. She about to get a headache, just give her 5 minutes. Give her 5 minutes. And it's usually the boys. They have my back. I'm just like, oh, that's
Because
right.
those girls, honey, they are
Oh my
they only care
goodness.
about their
They
drama.
only care
Okay.
about their drama. And I'm like, I don't want to hear it right now.
Yes.
Please. Please.
Yes. And women too, like I think especially in relationships,
Mhm.
we're selfish.
We
We're
are.
selfish a little
Uh-huh.
bit. Like we want men to buy us flowers. We want them to plan the
Mhm.
dates. We want, and
Mhm.
I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I think sometimes we should take initiative and do some things
Right.
as
That's
well.
true. That is.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
It
pressure.
is. I believe it.
They got to pay the bills. I'm just saying what society says. You
Right.
got to pay the bills. You got to open the door. You got to,
There's so much
it's
a
the
man has to do, quote unquote, and we just like, you don't have to do all that. Let me
the
do something for
expectation
you.
is
It
high.
is. I feel bad. I wouldn't been.
You know
Sorry,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Sorry, man.
Sorry,
I'm
guys. The
so
pressure is
sorry. The
real.
pressure is getting
My
worse.
husband always says, that's a lot of pressure, but you handle it well. Just
You
keep
handle it
going.
well. Keep
Keep
going.
going. You're doing great.
Yes. Keep thriving.
Yeah.
We love it.
But I do think that women need to take more initiative in that area because it's a lot, guys.
It is. It really
It's a
is.
lot. I have to catch myself sometimes. I'm like, when the last time I planned a date? Like, he always
Mhm.
does it.
Mhm.
Just get used to it.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, whatever. Then I'm like, last week I did. I planned a
Okay.
date.
See?
So
How
I
did
did
that
better.
go?
It went good. It went good. We got rained on a little bit.
Oh,
But
okay.
it went good. We went
See?
to the rooftop cinema. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was beautiful that
Oh,
day.
and then it started raining.
And it started raining, and then it stopped, and then we just got drizzled on a little
Uh-huh.
bit. But
Oh
it
my
went well.
gosh.
I
That's good
know. I was
though.
like, the day I picked this,
It's a sign.
this is what happens.
It's a
This is what
sign, right?
happens. So I think in order to shift your perspective, you have to kind of like reframe the way you think. Do you think that
Yes.
takes time?
It does take time. I wouldn't say it happens overnight. You have to I wouldn't say it takes a year either. It just depends on you and how you're
Mhm.
able to just handle yourself and able to handle other situations and see others in different lights, stuff like that. Take
Right.
it, so it just depends on you. If you're a big procrastinator, it's going to take you a while. But if you really want to shift your mindset and you really have it in you, it's going to take quicker than what you think.
Exactly. I definitely agree with that. I think also too, it's important to surround yourself around positive
You
people
have to.
in a community of people. And so I think that's what I'm moving toward building
Mhm.
because I was looking for it. So I've been looking for it. I'm like, I just don't find it. Like I've been to a couple like groups, and
Mhm.
I'm like, that's not it.
Right.
Go over here. That's not the vibe I'm looking
Right.
for. So I'm like, create your own vibe.
Create
It's
your
what
own
you're looking
vibe.
for.
Mhm.
Yeah. So my goal with this is to take it to build a community of women who are like-minded
Okay.
encouraging each other, kind of
Yes.
building each other up,
Mm-hmm.
and just, being able to have a safe space to vent when you need to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where I'm moving to with the podcast, is building a community.
Yes.
Because I think we need the support.
We do.
Because it's hard to do things on your own, especially when you've grown up around people who are not so positive.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what role do you think childhood trauma plays
Oh my gosh.
in looking at things from a different perspective, a positive perspective?
It plays a very big role. It really does. The things that you see, just being a child, it really can really take a toll on your mental, because you are held to a certain expectation. You're a child, or this is going on, the situation, and you're just a child. You can't do anything for yourself.
Yep.
And so if you have that mindset and you keep that same negative mindset, it's going to follow you into adulthood. So I feel like as that child, or once you get to transition to be an adult or in teenager or whatever, I feel like that it's on you now to figure out how you can change that mindset for sure, because it's just gonna follow
one more
you.
time. It's on who?
It's on you.
It's on you.
It's on you.
And I repeated that because I run into so many young adults who blame. It's like the blame game.
Yes.
So it's like, my mom didn't do this, or my dad is this. And then I have a couple of my brothers. I have a lot of brothers, so a couple of them are like that. And so I'm like, okay, but now we're almost 30,
right?
Or you're 30. Like, we have to shift that, because now it's your responsibility,
right,
to create a positive environment for yourself. It's no longer your parents' responsibility.
And I have a cousin like that right now. He's still going through it. From childhood, he was spoiled, and he saw his mom, which is my cousin, who didn't have a job, but they were still making it. And so now, him seeing that and going to adulthood, now he doesn't have a job, because he's like, well, if they made it work, I can make it work now too. And now he has a baby, newborn baby, and so he's still like, I don't need a job. I don't, And so he's carried that childhood trauma, and just seeing the interactions around him to basically reflect on himself now.
Right.
And so, I'm like, you're 21 years old. You could have took that mindset and shifted for yourself. You could have saw, oh, my mom's not working, but I can do this. You know, I can do this in the future. Like, everything bad that's happened to me in childhood, I can make it positive in my adulthood.
Right.
But he's still clinging onto that negativity, and now he's pointing fingers like, oh, you didn't do this for me. You didn't work.
You didn't work.
Yeah, you didn't do this, and that for me. And so now I have this trauma. I have this mental disorder, and it's like, you can't hold that against them, because it's nobody's fault but yours.
Right. Because you have the power to change it. Everything you need is within you. God has already given it to us.
Yes.
He's given us everything. And so, we can blame all day, but at the end of the day, it's called accountability.
It is. You have to hold yourself accountable.
Yep. You definitely have to do that. And I don't know what's up with these people not wanting to work. Like, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're, a 9-to-5 worker, you still got to work in some capacity.
Yes.
So I never understand it.
I don't either.
Yeah. And I think it's harder when you're an entrepreneur, because you're working every part of your business.
Right.
In the beginning, at least. You're doing everything.
Right. And you have so many people that want to be entrepreneurs, but they put no work into doing what they need to do to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Like, they're slacking on their part.
They want God to just come down and
hand it to them. Literally.
Here you go.
And they're like, okay, let me take it. But they can't. You got to work for that.
Yeah.
You really have to work.
You have to work for it. And I love when people on the outside looking in, and I'm like, oh, this is a lot. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot. But we started in our house with like one little thing, a camera, and whatever. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. We figured it out.
Right.
And this is like, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, guys. Like, take your time. Whatever it is that you want to do, take your time. The next thing I want to bring up, though, because I heard this morning, I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about how sometimes we feel like we're not where we should be, because we're looking at other people.
Oh my God.
Have you ever experienced that?
Yes. And I used to do that. I got out of it more when I was in high school, because I saw my friends were not going to college. So I had to not leave them behind necessarily, but like leave them behind. And so when I got to college, I'm like, oh, this person, they're about to, be in their junior year with all A's, and I'm sitting here with all B, like that. I have to realize, like, my journey is for me,
Yep.
and your journey is for them. And so even when I finished my education degree, my friends in my cohort were graduating that year. I was not, because I had to stay behind because I had one more year to do Spanish. And so I was just sad because my best friend, she was like, well, I have my classroom, I'm decorating, I have my students, da da da. And I was like, what's going to happen to me? And then I had to shift my mindset and think, if I give me some time, if I just, do what I need to do, accomplish a Spanish degree, then I'll be there next year, So I had to realize that my journey was for me and somebody else's journey is for them. And we just can't take the same journey because we all have different paths.
We do. We all have different gifts.
We do.
And so the Bible says your gift will make room for you. So your people and the places that you're supposed to be are assigned to you. Right. I just believe that. I believe that. And then whatever is for someone else is for someone else. That's why I love celebrating other people. Right. I love celebrating their wins. Like, that's amazing.
That's huge.
Amazing. Like, I will never understand the mindset behind somebody who looks at someone and says, they got that, or I don't know how they have that, because they worked for it.
They worked for it. They did.
Had to do something to get that.
Yes.
I don't know what they went through to get that.
I don't. And I should not judge. It's like the outside looking in. We don't know what journey they went through. We don't know what struggles and fights they had to go through to get where they are now. So you always have to take that perspective and just look at that.
You do. And you may not want to experience what they experienced. Like, you might be like, no, I'm good. I'm good with my journey.
Yes, I'm good.
I'm
grateful over my journey. Yeah, I'm good over here where I'm at. Like, I love it.
I'm good. And I think, especially in the Black community with women, we have to learn how to compliment each other more and kind of just be more cohesive, because most of us, number one, have resting bitch face. Yes. We all like,
and I'm trying to smile more. Like, no, I'm not mean. I promise.
And it's not even that half of the time, but it's just like, so now I think, especially now, because I'm a counselor and I deal with so many people, and just you have to talk to people. That's what you do. But it's better because I was an introvert for a long time, like just like I'm not saying anything, just like chilling, minding my business. But now I'm like, hey, how you doing? Good morning, like whatever the case may be. And that's why I think people feel comfortable talking, because it's like, oh, okay, she understands. And so that's all I want to do, is make people feel comfortable sharing, because a lot of times you never know what people are going through.
Never, ever know.
And you never know if they have a safe space.
Right, exactly.
So,
and I used to have that mindset too, like, I'm not going to speak until I'm spoken to. And then I realized, like, that's not right. Let me, say good morning. You never know, like you say, you never know what people are going through.
Yep.
And so if I just take that little, hey, how you doing? It can really cheer somebody else's day up, so.
And I even went a step further, because how you say good morning, some people are like, or like, oh, are you okay? Are you sure?
See, I gotta get there.
I
have to get there.
So I think I'm developing that more, because I have to use that all the time, especially with kids. You use it all the time. So I'm like, with adults now, sure. Do you need a moment? You want me to come cover? I got you.
And it's so beneficial.
It takes 5 minutes.
Right. And it's so
beneficial. You just never know.
Never, ever know.
Never know.
Never.
And, you don't want someone to go home and be like, nobody asked me how I was doing today. Like, nobody cares.
That would be such a terrible feeling.
That's terrible.
And you started the day sad and you're coming home sad, because nobody got to ask you how you were doing, or, ask about your feelings. That's
all because we didn't want to get uncomfortable.
Exactly. Right.
And I'm like,
so crazy.
And I prayed, and I'm like, God's like, who you think you are?
Right.
Like,
who
you think you are? Like, no, that's why I put you here.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so that's why I'm just like, everybody's gifts are different, y'all. Don't ever feel like there's too many people doing something that, oh, I can't do it because there's too many people doing it. Do what you want to do.
Right. Do what you want to do.
Do what you want to do.
On that. Do what you want to do.
Do what you want to do. And change your perspective.
Yes.
Change your perspective on a lot of things, because I'm telling you, when you start looking at stuff from a different light, you just see things differently. You realize, like, the stuff you used to really worry about, it's really not that deep.
It's not that deep. It's not that serious.
It's not. So tell me what you're liking most about Houston.
I love that every day is something new that I discover, whether it's a new restaurant, a new location, like a new event I go to. Like the other day, no, I'm sorry, it was like 2 weeks ago. I got my lashes done at my lash artist's apartment, and I took a different way home. And on the way home, I saw a farmer's market, and I was like, where am I? You know, so I stopped and I got out and I walked around about an hour or two, and I was like, if I never took this way, or if I never like branched out, you know, if I would have told my lash artist, no, I don't feel comfortable, I would have not been able to experience that. So it's like just realizing there's so much to do here and there's so much opportunity here, and you know, there's something catered to all the ages. I mean, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you want to stay at home, whether you want, you know, there's just things that cater to you. And so I just love it's just a lot more broad and more open than, you know, closed in Georgia. So
so Georgia's more like
it's
family oriented.
I would
the
say
part of Georgia that you were in.
Yeah, more family oriented. I lived around lost cows and horses.
Like the country.
The country.
Okay,
the country.
That's where I'm from, and you can tell because some of these words I'm not getting right, guys. I'm working on it. I promise I'm working on it. So yeah, I understand. I'm from a very rural area as well, and just being in Houston now, I go home and I'm like, okay, it's time. Like y'all got a day, or 2 hours, because I'm about to go back home.
I'm about to right. No, for
everything's
real.
right here.
Yes,
it's
everything.
Different.
I live off of Westheimer too, so I'm just like, oh, I can just literally go like 2 minutes to go to a grocery store. Whereas
over there
in Georgia, it took me about 10 minutes or plus to get to a grocery store. Wow. So it's just like the differences here. It's more accessible here for me, for sure.
Have your parents been to visit?
They only came when they dropped me off. So we drove from Georgia in a U-Haul, and I had my car, and they flew back to Georgia. So that was the only time they came and see me.
Okay, so parents, y'all gotta come back and see your baby girl.
No, please do.
Yeah, come see her. Y'all will like Houston. They will like Houston.
They do. Yeah. My dad at first, he was like, he loves to study the maps, and he watches the news all the time. He's retired, so I was telling him like, I got hired in Houston, and the first thing he said was, oh, they have lots of floods there. So he was just really concerned for my safety. And that's normal, right. And then we came in June when I was looking for an apartment. He came with me. And he was like, oh, I love it here. I love the feeder roads. He was obsessed with them.
Oh, wow.
And so he fell in love with Houston just being in its own place. So he had a mindset, you know, like it was dangerous, you know, it's flood zones and my baby girl's out there. But once he saw it firsthand, he was like, oh, she's in good hands. She'll be okay.
Right. And you've already raised her and prayed over her, you know.
And still praying over me daily.
Yes, daily.
Every day.
Yes. I'm living off of grandma's prayers, girl. For real, because you think about all the stuff they did and they sacrificed for you to be where you are, because our parents always want us to be better than them, of course. And so when they see the product, like, look at it, like, that's my daughter.
Literally. My mom says that. She always reminds me, she said, don't be like me. You know, do better than me. And I'm like, Mom, I love you. But she's like, no, be better than me.
Yeah.
You know, she said, if you don't like something, you can always leave it, you know. So she always feeds that energy into me.
That's great advice.
I love that reinforcement, that reassurance.
I love that. I love that. Oh, I love it that you have a 2-parent household. See, some people do have a 2-parent household, guys.
Yes. It still exists. It's still out here. They had their 28th wedding anniversary on the 25th. So
awesome.
It's just like I feed off of that
and I'm glad you do, because that brings me to the next subject, which is the single life out here. What is that like in the H? Okay.
Well, it's
complicated.
That's the word. Complicated. It's complicated because I keep comparing here to Georgia. In Georgia, the men would approach you. Like they saw a gentleman. A gentleman. They saw you from across the room and you know, you're doing your thing in Georgia. They'll come up to you and be like, hey, you know, here's my number. Here's my Instagram. Da, 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 da. Here, the men just stand back and they look on the wall and they look at you from a distance. They don't do anything.
Oh my God.
I mean, I had not really anybody. One person has approached me, but it was like he was playing games. I'm like, no, you're not even from here, bye. And so it's very different in that sense. So I'm trying to get out more and see different things and see the men out here and stuff like that. They're gorgeous, man. The men out here are gorgeous, but they don't approach. And I'm just
wow. So are you online? Are you dating online?
No, I'm not. I got off the dating apps. It just wasn't for me. It's just like I had to keep a persona, and the guys kept asking the same questions, like how are you doing, and what are you doing, and what job do you? It just kind of repetitive to me. So I was just
they were asking you where you worked.
Yeah, like what do you do?
What do you do
know,
for a
like what do you
living?
do? Right, what do you do for a living? And then you have to explain yourself, and then it would be an online conversation and never
Girl,
taking
you
the
better
initiative.
save that stuff in notes and copy paste. Because that's what
See,
I
I
used to
seen a
do.
TikTok about the other day.
Girl, you better
They oh my
generic
gosh, generic,
paste. Because they
right?
all ask the same
They all
questions.
ask the same question, but I get annoyed by that because I'm just like, okay, when are you gonna ask me to go to dinner? When are you gonna ask me to go to this activity? You know,
Right.
it's all online, and nobody ever wants to take the step to
Like,
go
let's meet in
further,
person. Yeah.
right? To go further, and so that's what I found really difficult in online dating. But my cousin, she loves it. She's like, I love Hinge because I get to do this and that. I'm like, girl, please
Oh, so
don't
she
do that.
likes communicating via text
She
or,
does.
via DM, whatever. Okay,
See?
so fun fact about me, I
Uh-huh.
met my husband online.
Oh, that's so sweet though.
Yeah, but we're old, so
Uh-huh.
the platform was like, what is it called? It might still exist. Plenty of Fish.
I heard of
It's
that.
old. It's for old people.
I've heard of
I
that.
know. But we met there,
Sweet.
and so no one knew until our wedding. Like nobody
Oh,
really
see, and
knew.
I feel like nobody should
We shared it at
know.
our reception.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess for me, men really need to learn how to have a conversation. So that's the real issue because my husband has a podcast too, and he did a panel with some guys, and you get men, and we also did one where we had like single guys and women on the panel, and I was the host of the panel, and it was just interesting how everybody had a different perspective on how things should go, and and so it was very interesting, and they kind of gave each other advice on what you could do differently.
See, I love that.
Which I thought was great because maybe sometimes they don't know that they're doing it wrong. And I think they're just saying what they think
is the right thing.
Yeah, because you don't want to say the wrong things. It's like, oh, what you doing?
You don't get flamed for it.
Yeah,
you know,
what you doing?
like,
where you at?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. You know?
And I have that high expectation because, like I said, my parents have been married for 28 years, and my dad approached my mom, and just seeing that, I know what I want in a relationship. Do I want their relationship? Absolutely not, because no relationship, I don't want to be identical.
You want your own.
But I want my own, So I want to have that love story, I want it to be, my dad saw my mom, it was magic, and my mom saw my dad, it was magic. So I want that love story,
Right.
So waiting for it patiently.
So would you say you're traditional?
I would say I'm traditional.
Yeah.
I am, in a sense.
Yeah.
In a sense. What do you mean?
No, because this is what I hear. It's like, oh, well, there's no good men out here, or oh, there's no good women out here. Okay, where are you going? What are you doing?
Right.
Like, where are you going to meet them? Are you going to church, or are you going to, where are you going?
I'm out. So like, yeah, so like I'm outside,
right?
I'm outside, like I'm outside. Whether it's
you gotta get outside,
and you see things on TikTok like, yo, dress up to go to the store, and I'm like, the grocery store is literally 2 minutes from my house. Like I'm gonna put on some sweats and I'm gonna put on a t-shirt and look raggedy if I want to, but you can look attractive going to the grocery store, but you don't really have to. If I don't want to feel beautiful that day, I'm just gonna throw something on and go to the store. But never know, that could be the day you meet your husband and stuff like that. So it's just like I'm outside. I'm trying to make myself more open, but I don't know, maybe I'm just showing a very close perception. I don't. It just depends.
It just depends. I think it's gonna come when you least expect it. Right. Because I swear I was on that app and I was like, hell no, I'm about to get the hell off of here because what the fuck?
don't know. I'm about to.
Because people like see you like this is for adults, but they send you like dick pics,
and I'm so sick of that. Like
shirt off, like
thanks for that. Like, what do you? What?
I don't. What am I gonna do with
Did that get somebody in like the past for you?
That's
like,
a turn off.
That's a turn off, real bad.
It's a turn off,
and I have to just delete.
And it's all ages, though. You would think that it's like, oh, a little young. Everybody.
You cater your age to like the older ones, and the older ones are doing the same things as the younger ones. So I'm just like, there's what? Going
the
on.
Same. I mean, the language, everything is the same.
Everything is the same.
So yeah, that process back then was crazy. So now I know the issue that I hear the most is that everybody's looking for, oh, I just want to chill. Oh, I just want to hang out.
Want to chill. That's what gets me, like, grinds my gears. I'm just like, what are we chilling for? Like, what are we doing? You mean you want me to come to your apartment the first time that I meet you
without even taking me to dinner?
Without me to, you taking me to dinner.
Anywhere.
Like, I could come over to your house and rob you. You know, like
I don't know you.
I don't know you, and you don't know me for real. So you feeling comfortable enough to invite me to your house, or you're thinking that you can invite yourself to my place. It's not safe, and it's just not. It's not realistic to me at
It's
all.
stupid.
It's really crazy.
And she's not stupid because we're not doing that.
I'm not
okay?
doing that.
Because do y'all see all these people on the news? Like, what is happening?
That I don't want.
No, you're not coming over.
Those. No.
And then the people who are asking to come over, normally they have some bullshit going on. Like, I stay with my mama. I stay with somebody. Like,
and no looking at anybody that stays with their mom, because I know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but like, be honest.
Be honest.
Like,
about
stop
it.
lying.
Stop lying. I don't like liars. And once I figure out, because I'm, you know, girls when they get to liking somebody, you know, they're gonna be the FBI. You know,
I call my sister. She is like the researcher.
I'll call my best friend and be like, girl, can you look up his Instagram for me, or look up his Facebook for me? You know,
because you know they already blocked you.
They already blocked me.
Blocked you, so you
Why are you blocking me? What
is it? I want you to see.
That is so interesting, because like. And you know how you can figure out they blocked you on Instagram to see their stories? If they have highlights popped up and they're gone, they don't look. It means they blocked you from watching. Oh,
so if it's like black,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes, I just found that out.
Oh wow!
And I was like,
shady,
sassy. That's what it is. Sassy man sassy. Apocalypse. It's apocalypse,
and it's a lot of sassy ones out here.
Sassy,
like for real. This is what we doing.
What?
This is what y'all doing.
This is what you're doing.
Yeah. Just be upfront. I think women, of course, some things may hurt your feelings up front, but like when you're like transparent about what's really going on, I think we can respect that more. That's why you see so many women who will help a man and will help build a man up because he was honest about who he was.
Absolutely. If you just tell me straight up, like, this is what I want to do, this is what, you know, I'll be more respectful towards you. You know, I'll be more lenient. Maybe not towards so lenient, but like I'll be more, you know, able to accept where you're coming from. You know, just be upfront, be honest. You know, tell me what it is the moment, you know, before I get too deep in my feelings. And, you know, things turn sour.
I know. I told my husband, I'm like, you need to host a class because I really think people don't know what to say. Like they're saying the wrong stuff. It's dumb. Stop saying that. Like it's a turn off for women. Like no.
Just be yourself.
And stop saying there's nobody good out there because there's still good people out here. Like I just believe that in my heart that there's still good people out here. And what I talked about with the counselor that was on my podcast last week, she's married, and we talked about, you know, speaking up about happy marriages because sometimes we as married women kind of like scale back because people are so bitter, or because people have bad experiences. You know, you don't want to really talk about, oh, I'm actually happy up here. See? You know what I'm saying? But we said
to shy yourself away from that because you're so happy in your relationship. I feel like your relationship, if you want to like beam out and glow, then beam out and glow. Tell people about it. Somebody shouldn't be salty at what you got going on.
Right. But I think people need to see more healthy, especially more healthy Black marriages. I'm not against interracial marriages, but I would just like to see more Black marriages, more Black love, because our percentage, we're like lower than every other race right now.
We are. We really are. That breaks my heart. And it's like, you know, like we're worthy of love too, you know. I love seeing Black love. I love seeing the Black love documentaries. Like some of my parents, you know, just y'all as a couple, you know, it's just like it's inspiring because, you know, like y'all are together. You know? I love that. I love that.
And I see my grandparents, so they celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary in January. And then I have my uncle and aunt. They've been married like almost 60 years. Like I had long marriages in my family. So it was good to see that. But some of the stuff that they do, I just don't see it anymore. And so my husband and I, like, we pride ourselves on like really trying to take, like you said, taking some of the things that they do and some of the advice that they give and just making it our own.
They're so old school.
Yeah.
You know, in their own ways. And now we have a new school thing and social media is involved. So we kind of have to mix the two a little bit.
You have to mix the two. So let me make you laugh. So last Friday we were on our way to an event and my grandma calls. It's like 9. Bro, nobody go out till like 10,
like 11, 12, right?
11, I don't know. The event started at 9. Of course, we're not going to get there at 9. So she's like, oh, what you doing? Getting ready for bed? No, actually, getting ready to go out. Oh, y'all ought to have y'all butt in the bed. No. It's late. It's people doing this.
And see, that's what they're used to.
But we're going together.
Right. I'm fine. Right. Fine. I'm good. We're good, Grandma. I promise.
We're good.
We're good. I promise.
But yeah, they're very old school. You know, they're like, you don't need to be at a club. You already got to meet.
See, but we have fun.
To have fun.
You know,
together.
Right. Together. Right.
So yeah, I think you definitely have to like adapt and make it your own. Right. I want to do a speed dating event.
Yes.
Have you ever done something?
I have not, but I've always seen like them on like Eventbrite and stuff like that, and I've seen them on TikTok, and I'm like, how cool is that to just just bounce
I just heard that the guys never show up though. It's that's like always a lot of women, but not enough guys.
Right. But why don't the guys show up?
They're just probably like, oh, nobody's going to that. You know, like,
oh, they think it's corny.
Nobody's gonna show up. I don't want to be the only guy there.
Right.
No.
And they all have that mindset.
So it literally have to be like hand-picked, like so that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Because I mean, we know a lot of people like, why y'all single? Like,
no, for
what's
real.
going on?
All my
like,
friends I hang with, they're single. I'm just like, y'all are gorgeous women. Y'all have good personalities, but like the men are lacking. What's going on?
They're scared. I don't know. So scared. They're scared. Nobody wants anything serious. No. That's the real issue.
Are they scared of commitment? Like are they scared of committing?
Yeah. I think so.
But why though? But
a lot of them have been hurt. Because I'm not just gonna blame it on the men. Because it's like it's some trifling women out here who have messed up the good guys, and now they like a little hesitant about, you know.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. But yeah,
I can see that.
I can see. No, I really can. Just thinking like some guys have been hurt in middle school. I'm like, you can't carry that hurt. Middle school. You can't carry that hurt.
I'm gonna try to let it go.
Y'all
better not be bringing that up.
No, for real.
They're bringing that up.
Bringing it. I've been hurt in middle school or in high school. I'm like, y'all, we graduated 9+ years ago. What? Like, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go.
We gotta let that go.
We have to.
Middle school and high school too. We gotta let it go.
We have to let that go.
It's over and done.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Nobody, when you're dating someone, no one wants to hear about previous.
Yes. And I don't like to hear about that. Nobody like I don't care. Not that I don't care. It's just like, why are you? Not relevant. It's not relevant at all. You don't have to bring it up to me. It's okay. Your feelings are valid, but I don't want to hear about your exes. And
can we talk
about something else, something fresh and new?
Yeah.
Like, I'm here now. Think about the present. You know.
Yeah. No, that's a no.
That's a no. Red flag.
Yeah, we need a class because y'all don't need y'all. Y'all out here.
Oh,
I feel. Look, I'm gonna pray because wow.
I'm afraid for y'all.
Middle school.
Y'all hurt by something in middle school.
Y'all. I'm gonna need you to change your perspective. Because people change.
Yeah, they can.
People evolve.
Right.
And it's over.
It's done. You just open your heart up, you know. Yeah. Like sometimes dating is gonna hurt, you know, but you won't know till you try.
And you gotta be a little savage sometimes. You have to like literally like serial date until you figure out who's serious and who's not.
And that's totally fine.
And make people prove that they're serious. Yes, that they're serious.
Let's normalize that. If you're serious, I
serious. Swear, my husband showed up to my house with a U-Haul, girl.
What?
He was like, "Oh yeah, you moving in with me?"
Oh, serious?
And I was like, because I was just like, I was on my own, just doing my thing, you know.
And that's serious. Me
and I was like, oh, let me think about it. I don't know, girl, please. Showed up, movers. Let's go.
That's so nice.
He will come get you. Don't worry.
He will come get you.
He really wants you.
A man will move mountains for the one that he wants.
Period.
That's my quote. I think about that.
And we're gonna end on that because that was a whole gem, y'all. That was a whole gem. Well, thank you so much, Waverli, for coming. I love your first name because it's so different. You know what confused me? I went on Facebook because I was like, let me do a little research because I just want to kind of see, just to get a little background before I'm asking questions. And I was like, wait. And then I went and I said, well, it says Waverli on here, but on here it says Alicia.
Yeah, that's my,
It's like, okay, let me ask
I try to be edgy on Facebook.
I know. Is that your middle name?
It's my middle name, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's so it's like, I want people from high school to find me, but at the same time, it was like, my first name is so unique and unusual, so you're going to find me regardless. Yes. Type in my first name, you're going to find me. So it's just like, let me switch it up a little bit. So instead of my last name, I just did my first and middle.
I like it. I like it. I have everybody blocked.
I'm slowly unfollowing my high school friends. I'm just like, I don't want to see your life anymore. Like that was 9 years
most of them
ago.
aren't doing anything.
They're not doing anything, and it's just drama. And I told my friend that we joke about it all the time. Like, there's a Bartow County crime page, and I'm like, well, this is what I follow to see my classmates on.
Oh my God.
It's a good reunion.
So
to talk.
sad.
It's so sad. It's terrible.
But it's like when you don't leave out of your environment and you expect things to change, they don't.
They don't.
Just fall into the cycle.
Small-minded, like, mentality.
Yep.
I call it. I forgot what I call it, but it's just like, leave.
Just
the
leave.
Hometown mentality.
Try to do something.
Do something.
If you're gonna stay there, at least try to do something.
Do something.
Because what you don't want to do is find yourself saying, "I wish I woulda, shoulda, coulda." Like
shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Now you're 60 or 70.
You're still there.
And you still there with health problems.
And I'm here thriving somewhere else.
And I done went and seen the world.
I've seen the world.
Seen the world. My passport is
honey.
it's stamped,
booked up. Okay.
Booked.
Period.
Yes, because I had a whole destination wedding. I was like, I want to do something different. Bye.
I was talking about that to my friend today. I said, I want a destination wedding.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It was the best thing ever. We had so much fun. We did Jamaica.
Ooh,
fun.
I was looking at Tulum.
Best decision ever. Really? Oh, we're gonna wrap the episode.
He brought the book out, y'all.
Y'all, my husband is behind the camera.
Sweet.
But we're gonna close the episode out. But thank you so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have any questions for me? I always end with that.
Oh, do I have any questions for you? Back to entrepreneurship. How would you broadcast this to somebody that actually wants to get into it? Podcasting.
We have a website. So we have a website and we're more look, that's our big issue right now is marketing. So we said our goal is to do more marketing. So we run ads. We kind of like we have cards, we have flyers. So we're really just trying to get the word out there.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think what we do is kind of unique because we actually teach it as well. So we have an ebook, we have a course. And then we also have a mentorship.
Okay.
So for people who are actually like
be
really
booked and busy, y'all. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. And so we have a room too. If you just want to utilize the room, want to utilize the equipment, we also like if you just want to come in and record it yourself and we edit it, we have packages and stuff like that too.
Perfect.
Yes.
So they're available.
We're available. We're at www.om2hcreative studios. No, I'm sorry. www.onemarriage2hustlers/OM2H studios. So go book. Y'all know all the info will be on the screen. Do you want to put your social media handles on the screen?
My social media handle is literally the same for everything. It's WAAAVERLI. I'm pretty chill. Everything's open. So follow
that
me.
name matches you.
Yeah.
It really does.
Literally, yeah. So come see me, holler. I'm here.
All right, guys. Her info will be on the screen. Follow her and welcome her to the H in the comments. Yeah. We'll see you in the next one.
Later. Peace. Thank you.
Well, guys, that concludes our episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. For additional information about today's episode, please click the link in the show notes below. To learn more about our Grace Girls community and other resources we have to offer, head over to www.allowyourselfgrace.com. Until next time, Grace Girls, I love you all. Be blessed and continue to strive for success.